What up, world? You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Matt Miz, the host with the most never need to brag no boast. All we ever did was give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way for us players to play. Parlay this game for y'all today. So, RIP to the late, great Malcolm X, man. He might be turning in his grave right now because he's like, we did all this to let these other groups in so they could shit on black folks. Act like they could say the word nigga. Where do you do that at? Where do you do that at? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this whole thing like maybe Fat Joe was given a pass, all these years in New York, saying what he's saying, Did he really go through the struggle as a black person? To say the N word, and even at that, you don't say that as a form of respect because you don't hear black folks going around saying wetbacks and spicks and all that. It's just not how we rock, you know what I'm saying? So everybody trying to give Fat Joe a pass, I don't think you should give a 50-year-old grown man a pass or whatever the case may be or whatnot. But therein lies the problem, Sometimes when we're so caught up in our own shit that we forget the bullshit that's going on around us, that's undermining us. You know what I'm saying? But I was watching this HASSAN Campbell interview, and it had me thinking. Well, not interview. He just put out a video. And it had me thinking. Maybe there's some credence to what he's saying right now. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Lord Jamar went after Bambaataa, and then in this whole thing with Africa Bambaataa. You know what I mean? It makes you really think, like, makes you really think what happened to Fat Joe that made him act that way. First of all, he was rated out by the DNC to try to show that, we got a hold on hip hop and he could influence the people to support the DNC. And they got the worst loss in a long time, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's part of the reason why he's a little butt hurt and wants to go after black men, particularly black American men, foundational black American men, about this whole situation, And like if New York is an enclave that allows other groups to just shit on the original people of the land, original black people of the land, then that's a problem, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think black folks are really trying to do that, but going through everything that you go through, you see another group in ostracized, like you kind of feel a little solidarity. But do they feel the same way you, or are they just undermining you as like a buffer class? You know what I'm saying? That shit is non-cipher. So let's check this shit out. HASSAN Campbell, salute to him, because it's interesting, to say the least. And I don't rock with everything HASSAN say, but sometimes he be saying some real shit. And I ain't even gonna front. You know what I'm saying? So let's speak on that. Fair use, fair use. Don't get my shit flagged, because I know how y'all get down. Anybody want to come up or speak on the situation? or have any reasonable thought out opinions about it, let's get down to business, because I ain't playing this bullshit. And I don't even think it's a hard debate to, it's not even like a division thing, It just shows that once you're willingly ignorant because of money and fame and everything like that, then obviously you're going to trip yourself up, because those buffer classes only realize until they get kicked in the ass how not part of the dominant society they really are, And that's a sad thing to feel to swallow, because you got black folks that have to die of blood, sweat, and tears to fight their way through oppression, and y'all just want to come and just disrespect the people that were there before y'all. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, now they giving me a problem. That's the problem. Hold up. Come on, Malcolm. Let's get this show on the road. They hating because they see Malcolm, huh? All right, we gonna fix him though. We got something for him. Shout out to HASSAN Campbell. I ain't even friend you.
Shall we begin? Shall we begin? In the Bible,
This makes sense. Listen.
Jesus says, blessed is the peace of God. Blessed is the peacemaker. Those who make peace. Traveling through what I want to say to you, Math Hoffa, is, I mean, your platform was the friendship, relationship on your platform. I got to witness AZ caught up in the beef where, we didn't see him really respond, but he got super dragged and violated on your platform by Lil Sean. And now, for the main event, the fight was for to get up here and see Fat Joe. My niggas don't dance, they just pull up their pants and do the rock away and lean back. Fat Joe, from digging in the crates, go toe-to-toe and super duper violate Lord Jamal from Grand Nubian. Once for all, Grand Nubian. On your platform, not only did we see Fat Joe just super violate Lord Jamal, but Tariq Nasheed as well. And I know you brothers, Matthew and Joe might have something in common, your islanders. But the Americans, the black Americans got a problem. Oh, you got the internet. You got the internet in a frenzy? Nope. See, I don't really have to pick sides in this situation between Joe and Lord Jamal, Lord Tariq, because I would be biased. Everybody knows I don't feel Joe, but I will explain one of the main reasons why Joe have a problem with Lord Jamal is because Lord Jamal ran with the Zulu Nation in his earlier days of hip hop, as well as the fact that, Lord Jamal used to be Zulu. He was 5%, but he was around. He was family. And then you have Fat Joe, who was a member of the Zulu Nation. At one point in time, one of the founders of the Zulu Nation, Mickey Benson, used to allegedly be Fat Joe's manager or road manager. So now we connect the dots and we see the history. And if you know anything about this beef, well, some of it feuds for me. And Lord Jamal speaking out on behalf of the victim. But that's a whole nother video. Back to you, Math. How does it feel? I mean, it's like when they say God don't like ugly, you try to paint yourself in a picture where you in a light where you look better than everybody else, and then you use quarter lap to make you look squeaky clean on the internet, because when you make mistakes, they cleaning up the internet to make you look squeaky clean. But you can erase the internet, but you can't erase our memories. We seeing you for who you are, Math. And the math ain't adding up. The math ain't adding up. It's adding, it's bringing evil to the table. And you ain't looking good. Because the reality of it is, if you want to be a hip hop platform, it's one thing to create a battle, thing to breed. I mean, you would think in our culture of hip hop, the rap game is on its last leg. Hip hop has already died. The last extension of hip hop is rap. And the rap game is on life support. And you, when things is already on critical, you feel it? Can you feel that? That funky sensation. Heartbeat. You make it so sweet. Your platform just threw a death blow. Like the Shaolin technique. Okay. Nigga, you just threw a death blow to hip hop. Well, you got legends. Oh, right. You got Lord Jamal coming from a legendary group. Well, you got Fat Joe coming from a legendary group too.
Peace, beloved. You already know.
And see, Fat Joe said that Lord Jamal was the wackest one out of the group from Brand Nubian. But Fat Joe, in all fairness, in the group digging in the crates,
You were the wackest one.
You was the wackest one too. If Showbiz ain't never go to jail and get caught up in that scandal, just like
AG.
Diamond D and Lord Finesse, you would never even compare to the old Lord Finesse, let alone the new. Nah, Joe. On top of the fact that anybody that's been paying attention to history, like everybody black, if you didn't add somebody to the table that was already popping in the limelight, your career would have been over. It is what it is. Shout out Papa for giving the community another black eye. Last like, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. I'm out.
So to this Lord Jamar, because he was a part of the Zulu Nation, but to give credence to everyone had HASSAN Campbell on his show, and he interviewed him one time, you know, and they were talking about this whole Zulu Nation situation. It really makes you think. You know, the Zulu Nation covering up all types of bullshit. So this is hold up, y'all. Let me show y'all another clip. Right quick. But just to show y'all that, like, Fat Joe, he knew what he was doing. It was all for the DNC, you know, to put a wrench in the FBA's forward progress. But you can't call the spokespersons for a lineage leaders of a lineage. That doesn't even make sense. So it just shows you that Fat Joe has no respect, nor does he care what's happening, because he wants a race war. He wants a division. He wants to be able to go around and parade himself as a black man and say nigga and promote everything that's degenerate about the culture and everything like that. That's what he wants to do. And that's messed up, because if you didn't have the black culture and you didn't have hip hop, what would you have? You'd be around here talking goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? So bring that shit to Guadalajara or wherever you're at. This shit's from. Don't try to bring that shit over here. But check this one out though. Shout out to German.
Yeah, I'm back one more time, guys. You know who I am.
He had a good that goes to show you, man. Malcolm was Caribbean too. You think Malcolm would go for the shit Fat Joe's doing?
In his album.
Think about it.
And Fat Joe took some major shots at me, TBA, Black American lineage. Fat Joe took a shot at our lineage. Like I said the other night, a lot of them will try to disguise the fact that they're attacking our lineage by creating a make-believe four-wall organization in their minds. so that they can attack a make-believe organization and pretend that they're attacking a make-believe organization as a proxy for all of us so that they can try to wither and slither away from responsibility of attacking our lineage. All right? Whenever these people start talking about FBA as a hate group, they're dissing a lineage. They're talking about 43 million people. Don't let them try to lie and pretend that they're talking about some organization that don't exist. There is no organization called FBA. They'll even use me as a proxy. Well, it's Tyreek and his leadership, and that's what I don't like. No, it ain't me. Fat Joe's bumper for a while. It ain't just me and other people. A lot of foundational Black Americans, they've been on to Star, from Star and Buck Wild. Star been getting on Joe for years. He's one of the people Joe out. So people have been calling Fat Joe. I helped 50 Cent just go back in the day. So stop with all that hate group and stop it. That's all cap. That's all cap.
God, these people know that you in a hate group, but they always try to come straw man arguments all with what's going on in their side. See, try to form a warrior simply because then they can try to pick you off as you go. See, it's too many of us. It's way too many of us. See, whenever they use the term, where FBA, the hate group, they talk about all of you like how white supremacists talk about Black Lives Matter. That's a proxy for all of you. See, they can't just come out and say, well, these Black Negroes, no. Well, these Black Lives Matter protesters, they talk about you. That's about like them saying the other side of town. Those folks, them people. Those super predators, those thugs. You understand? That's one of those things, guys. Fat Joe, he need to go somewhere and say this stuff down simply because don't nobody take Fat Joe seriously. Who? Every time that he come out with a hit record or something like that, it's with a foundation of Black America or either some hot artist. He can't stand alone. And this came about simply because of his mouth, because it's deeper than hip hop, guys, okay? You have to look 2 or 3 levels deep. It's deeper than hip hop. And this is a prime example of how they take everything from you. They come in, start talking against you at first. They rumor mills and all that. And then before you know it, it's just like rock and roll. Take it. Just like jazz. They take it. Pop. Take it. Rap, they trying to take it. It's deeper than just hip hop and rap, guys. This is how these people operate, and they always operate in this fashion. They always colonize. If you know anything about Spain, where is Spain, guys? Is that not in Europe? See, you have to understand the psychology of these people. Those blood quantum laws first started in Europe, in Spain. So these Spanish-speaking countries, you don't have no camaraderie with them. Oh, God. Did you hear me? See, you think because they dark skin or they got a little melanin on them, that don't make no difference. Them people are staunch racists. Fat Joe have been labeled that ever since the 90s. The people that hung around him called him that way back then. And now you starting to hear it firsthand. It's out openly now. But hold on, Tariq's gonna play a clip. Hold on.
But let me play the clip and we're gonna discuss it because he took direct shots. So we're gonna break this thing down, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna break this thing down and really analyze what's happening here. All right. Now, hold on. This is Joe. All right. On Math Hopper's thing. All right. Hold on. They asked them about hip hop. Hold on.
Okay. It's a group of these guys.
Okay. The discussion is about who started hip hop and Puerto Ricans not being 50-50. So I think that's where the conversation started. Hold on.
Okay. It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them. Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We're at a time now where we're just calling out a lot of disrespect.
No. Tether just means someone from that's not from the soil, that's ignorant of the history of racism, white supremacy that's going on, that's prevalent throughout the world. So if you're ignorant to that and you're from a different country and you come over to a country where people are fighting against that, that would make you a tether. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that covert or anything like that people are being derogatory with, like the word nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 1,000. You don't see Chinese people going around and saying nigga and all this and all that, because they know, they see it on TV and anything like that, but it's not something that you just go around saying. You know what I'm saying? So if you're being called a tether, that means you're just willfully not trying to understand racism, white supremacy. And if you want to switch that and turn it into something like it's the same thing as a derogatory word in your language, in your culture, or the Asian culture or the Indian culture, then you're just lost in the sauce and there's no helping you, you know?
Calling out a lot of disrespectful nonsense. That's what we're doing. We're calling out disrespect. We're calling out disrespect. And what Joe is doing is a lot of projecting right here. We're going to get on that. Hold on.
So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say their name? We're going to give them too much clout.
Man.
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the these dope.
Okay, so FBA is talking about all of us, and then Foundational Black Authority is taking a shot at Jason Black. He's giving us clout. Okay, Fat Joe is giving us clout. When was Fat Joe's last hit record?
If you're coming here and not joining into the struggle, of course they're gonna feel like you should be shutting back to where you came from. You know what I'm saying? With that type of mentality. Coming to the land of the free, home of the brave. So if you understand that, then you understand why Black folks had to recruit immigrants to come over to fight the good fight. But if you're kind of like, you know, a little behind the 8 ball and you want to create, you would think that by them saying that it's some sort of that affecting the Blacks that were the foundation of the country and they're trying to get their reparations and get themselves ahead in life and, you know, represent their culture. For you to just come denigrate that and just act like y'all are above any type of criticism or any type of understanding when it comes to fighting this fight that we're doing, then it shows your lack of understanding and knowledge and willfulness to see the bigger picture, you know? If people got ice on speed dial, maybe it's for those that are coming to the country and just trying to desecrate it and make a mockery of it, you know what I'm saying?
When was Fat Joe's last hit record? A record that really charted. When was his last hit record, if he's giving us this clout?
I just wanted y'all to hear that little piece. He taking shots at Tariq and Jason and all of them, right? Because everybody listen to those guys. They might not want to come through the forefront and say, yes, we do listen at the new black media, but we all know what time it is. And they others out there as well. This guy said that the FBAs attack anybody that don't look like them and all that. It's nothing but a bunch of lies. And this is why everybody is on his bumper. And this is your black and brown coalition, ladies and gentlemen, right here. A line tether, because that's what he did. Who put him on? If it wasn't for Foundation of Black Americans, Fat Joe wouldn't be sitting there where he at, because nobody would have never even heard of him. You understand that? See, fam, the danger with him to the guy. You have people like Fat Joe come through, and he say the N-word 1,000,000 times. This guy don't have a drop of melanin in him nowhere. His parents look white. So how in the world he is allowed to just say the N-word around black folks and they sit around giggling? I blame y'all. How is he allowed to sit up there and say the N-word 1,000,000 times and don't nobody say, hey, yo, man, we don't do that here now. Instead, everybody caught and kiki. And from my understanding, Math took the interview down, guys. He took it down because there was a major backlash. Rightfully so.
Lamar Davis.
I salute the brothers and sisters. Stand on business, man. It's time out for all this coming loose lip and you say anything you want to say. Nah, because somebody might roll up on you too. You never know. You better be careful. We safekeeping, we safeguarding, we circling our wagons. That's just what it is. I told you it's a new day. You can choose to believe it or you don't have to believe it, but you gonna see one way or the other. You gonna see.
Fat Joe is jumping out the window, but here's the thing, family. Shout out to everybody in here. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, with Fat Joe, and why after this interview, there was a massive backlash against Fat Joe. A lot of people felt the way about it. This started going viral all over the place because he's dissing a lineage. He's not dissing some fringe group or some organization or some people on Twitter. Yeah. You're dissing a lineage. If you're talking about me, you're talking about a lineage, because I don't have an organization. There is no organization or group called Foundation of Black Americans. Never has been. It's only a lineage, and that's what you're attacking. And people see it for what it is. Also, because we have a massive delineation movement, just Fat Joe sitting up there, a white Latino using the N-word over and over again, and he's in a room full of Caribbeans. Our brother Matt Hoffa, he's Caribbean. From what I understand, many of the other gentlemen in the room were Caribbean, and a lot of people felt a certain way about that too. They felt like, okay, these guys are kind of cock-con and kikiing when this white Latino is talking greasy in a room full of Caribbeans, which is what a lot of people from our lineage has been saying. There's a lot of little secret vitriol there. You understand? And the backlash got so bad, our brother Matt Hopper had to take that video down. He had to take it down. Yeah, the backlash, I don't think Fat Joe was expecting that. I don't think Joe was expecting that. Yeah, there's no small group of anything. There's 43 million foundational Black Americans, and they kind of feel a certain way about the actions of a white Latino, Black, after you've been eating on foundational Black American culture for this long.
Did you hear what he said? I agree with everything he said. I second everything he just said. Vampire, sucking out the life, and then turn around and point the thing at you. That's why I'm cool on them, yo, and all them old cool. I am bull. I never elected that. And I never will. Because I understand deep down, secretly, them people have contempt for you. But every last one of them we get, they always have something negative to say. They broke, they this, they that. I always have something to say about you, but that's okay. That's cool. But he's starting to feel the fire, huh? And from my understanding, Fat Joe will have a record coming out. How many of us you think will buy that? Or how many of us you think are so eager to hear what he have to say? Lord have mercy. He'll learn. Well, guys, let's hear what Jason Black have to say. All right, let's go.
Let me explain to you and get you straight right now. I want to talk to some other folk around here right now about that term tether and what it means there. Tether is the term for immigrant coons. If you are a domestic coon, you know who you are. Tether is the name for the immigrant coons. So we have a classification. The Europeans should be happy with that. We got a classification for you. When we see a certain behavior, we've classified it to let everyone around us know, hey, this is what it is. So whether you are a domestic tetherist, whether you are domestic coons or immigrant coons, we have a way of classifying it in a very brief shorthand that explains that.
And you know what that's called? CRC, Counter Racist Codification. Listen.
I don't want anybody else misusing the terms. Being an immigrant or of immigrant background is not what makes you a tether. That's been said a million times, but you're upset because you know that that's what you are. Being of immigrant background does not qualify you to be a tether. Being a coon of immigrant background who tries to undermine us, oh, that's the tether right there. That's the tether right there. No, folks, so when people get on my phone or anything else and they have an accent, that does not, I don't want folks to up here in my chat room or anything else automatically typing up that. Is they a tether? They're not a tether if they have an accent. They're not a tether if they're not from here. They're not a tether if they're an immigrant. That is not a tether. When they start talking that talk and dropping those words and dropping that vernacular that lets you know, oh, there he goes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got your Candace Owens. Oh, there he goes. Well, there's the tether right there. So now that I got everybody here tonight, over 9,000 strong, let me go ahead and just clarify that and distinguish that right quick. For those of you who do want to use that term, do not use it out of its context. Being an immigrant does not make you a tether. Any more than just being black makes you foundational. A tether is contingent on a certain behavior, a certain practice, a certain culture. Being a tether is not an accent. Being a tether is not a specific geographic location except outside of here. You have to be from outside of here to do that. But it's a certain. It is conjoined to a behavior. So we have to stay consistent with that so that other folks don't try to weaponize that and use that against us. Fat Joe understands that he's using us as a trading zone. Minorities when convenient. And what we're saying is, no, you got to be all the way in. You got in.
Did you hear what he said? And we've been saying this for a while now. But people want to act dumb. Anybody that's not foundation is a tether. We done told you on numerous occasions, over and over again. If you want to be dumb, just stay dumb then. But it have been explained in details, in depth. Tethering is an action word. It comes with a certain behavior. You're doing something. Just because you come from the Caribbean does not make you a tether. Now, if you like Candace Owens, voila. Candace Owens ain't never seen a black person that she agreed with, especially when it's up. Joe Act,
Right or wrong?
tether. You understand? So, guys, don't feel bad because they are foreign coons like we have domestic. So, since they don't call them out, we call them out for you and make everybody aware of their actions. So be careful with this one because this one here is very suspicious. We have heard some language, some things that sound like Fox News, that sound like Tucker Carlson, that sound like David Duke and Jared Taylor and Matt Walsh. You understand? Be aware. I told y'all it's a new day. You don't have to believe it, but you seeing it. Just like the Kamala Harris tether. Y'all seen that election? Okay, we ain't talking about Donald Trump right now. Because we know what Donald Trump is. Envelope trying to prove that they lawyer.
Exactly.
Let me say that again. A wannabe gangster
Jules
will ignore all the street codes, all the rules to try to prove he's a gangster. Okay, so they worse. Now you can take that for what it's worth, but let's continue.
This strategy of bringing over Trojan horses who look like us, and then it should not be Barack Obama or Kamala Harris.
Facts.
Back on. I want to talk to Fat Joe here for just a few moments. You know what, everybody? I'd like to know something here because Fat Joe does love to say nigga a lot. He sure does love to say that. I got a question for you here, Fat Joe. Can you please tell me the Latino black folk over here are allowed to use? I'd like for you to go ahead and give me hip to that, Joe. Tell me the Latino slur. Can't find it. I don't see anybody extending that to us.
Facts.
And that's another New York issue. New York should have clamped down on that decades ago. Dudes be so damn that they just let them, they imitate nothing. Let's just call it for what it is. Let's just call it for what it is. These dudes know what to do when they come around, y'all.
Yep.
They bring their sisters. Oh, I said it. They bring their sisters, they bring their cousins, bring their nieces. If they don't have money to open up no damn doors, nothing else, they bring some of the females in their damn family. Somebody gonna sit up here and break ranks. Oh, it's his turn. Somebody gonna get giddy and break ranks because it's your turn. And then next thing you know, the dudes show up and I'll be damn, you just sold out the village.
Is he talking or is he talking? This dude just sat up on there and just say the N-word so fluently. And everybody's sitting up there looking at her. Guys, let's be real. I didn't say all, so don't y'all get in my comment section because I will block you. I will get rid of you because today is one of those days, if you understand. The people from the islands in these speaking countries, These dark-skinned people thinking that they Hispanics. Did you hear me? I said they look at you like a other. Now, either that's the truth or either that's a lie now. What's it gonna be? Them people don't look at you the same way, like brothers and sisters. You was looking at them from your vantage point as a brother and sister. Them people don't care about you. Like to choke Jordan nearly to death. And you had these black looking like immigrants was sitting there helping and holding his arms and somebody wasn't even doing nothing, sitting there watching. Guys, do you think you could have did that around a bunch of FBA people? Huh? You see what happened in the boat dock, right? You see what happened there? Do you think FBA people would have sat around and let Daniel Penny choke that boy out like that? Spanish vagina. Ain't nothing wrong with Spanish vagina, but don't sell your soul for it. Hey, for some cooch, some Spanish cooch. That's why a lot of y'all get sought up and every third thing else. Just gameless. Don't know your own self from a hole in the wall. Just lost. Just a lost nigga. Sell yourself out. Sell your people out. Just do any old thing. And this man is allowed to just float. His had take that video. What's happening? Everybody's starting to look at him. Simply the diaspora was putting people in positions that wouldn't do nothing for foundational Black Americans, like Barack Obama and Kamala Harris was going to be another. And these governors and these little mayors and stuff, these people don't want to do nothing for you because they don't have no connection to you. I'm telling you, they don't have no connection. And every time they do something fly, they always say, well, I'm Jamaican, I'm Caribbean, I'm Ethiopian, I'm this, I'm that. That's fine. I'm not sure. That's fine. But the minute it's something negative, the minute they murder somebody or either they do something crazy and fire, I'm Black. No. Be Jamaican. Huh? Be Nigerian.
She looking good, right?
Be Haitian. Be what you are the whole entire time, and we don't have no problem with it. We agree with you. Be what you are. Because they lump us all in together, and no, we ain't having it no more. All right, but guys, tell me what y'all think, guys. Put it in the comment section. Go check out Jason Black video, because I'm telling you, he did a deep dive into Fat Joe. Oh, man. That was one of the best videos, I think, this year. You need to go check it out. Fat Joe is on the cover of it, okay? You see the title? All right. That's the title, guys. But guys, all right, it's time for me to go now. But until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.
Five. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that you gotta unpack and uncover with this whole situation, because there ain't no way Flo Joe don't know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Just let us know that you're planning for the Democrats, and Black folks aren't feeling that, and you just miscalculated. So stop with fronting. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's stupid, you know? It's like, what's all this false pride for when you're under the thumb of white supremacy? You know what I'm saying? Every hit song, Joe made it was an FBA collab. Exactly. Exactly. Every hit song he made. So what is he talking about? Broke. Talking about broke. Man. Like the fella bumped his head. I think he smoked. Yeah. That's how he got so. That was no example. Yeah, when you heard the new track, you got the DJ Khaled. Uh, 'I don't know popcorn, right? Y'all see the bullshit, right? I ain't here to sugarcoat shit with y'all. You already know what time it is. Too late in the game, man. We too far behind the eight ball for all the goofy talk. I mean, like, look at Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? Look at Malcolm. He died at 38. $38, bro. Yep. Hold up, y'all.
Sir, what's the real reason why you two men split? Is it merely ideologic, personality? What else?
Probably personality. It was not the statement that originally was given by the movement.
You've called people like Martin Luther King, who just got a Nobel Peace Prize, an Uncle Tom. Is this correct, first?
Well, I'd rather say that in the States, there's a law that has recently been passed, or a decision handed down by the court, wherein if you call someone an Uncle Tom, they can sue you for libel.
Well,
so I never refer to them as Uncle Toms. I would say that Uncle Martin is my friend.
Uncle Martin is your friend, yet you would disagree with his approach to what he wants to accomplish.
Definitely. If his approach would bring about what the black man in America needs to completely eliminate the problem that we have, I would say well and good. But I very much doubt that anyone who adopts the approach that Martin Luther King has been teaching to our people in that country can point to any meaningful gains that has actually served to solve the problem.
Black Muslims have sometimes, whether you have or not, and I think probably you have sometimes, it seemed to me, been preaching hate to meet hate.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
There's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating what I would have to describe, I think, as violence to meet the serious injuries that have been done your people, with which I totally agree.
I don't call that violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression indiscriminately against whites. But I do believe that the black man in the United States and any human being, anywhere, is well within his right to do whatever is necessary, by any means necessary, to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of those human beings.
Just before Pierre takes it, you've got a pretty good fighter and the world's heavyweight champion lined up with you to help out. Yes, Pierre.
Well, Mr. X, if I guess I call you that, is that the proper appellation,
Yes.
Mr. X? I'm wondering if you still believe, as I think you certainly did at the time you were allied to the Black Muslim movement, in a segregated black nation in North America.
I don't believe in any form of segregation or any form of racism. I'm against any form of segregation and against racism.
Am I right in saying that the Black Muslim movement, which you have left, did believe in that?
Well, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers that the only solution was a separate state for black people. And as long as I thought he genuinely believed that himself, I believed in him and believed in his solution. But when I began to doubt that he himself believed that that was feasible, and I saw no kind of action designed to bring it into existence or bring it about, then I turned in a different direction.
Are you still a Muslim yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm a Muslim. My religion of Islam, which believes in brotherhood, complete brotherhood of all people. But at the same time that I believe in this brotherhood, I don't believe in forcing my desire for brotherhood upon those who aren't willing to accept it.
Of course, I think the Christians would say that they also believed in brotherhood. What did you say to that?
I'd say they believe in it, but don't practice it.
That'd be a pretty good answer.
Sir, when the muezzin goes up in the minaret twice a day, he cries to the world, there is but one God, and he is Allah. Do you deny that there is a Christian God?
The muezzin does this 5 times a day.
5 times, and I only heard him twice.
Well, you were fortunate to hear him twice. But he does this 5 times a day, and the same God that he says that he expresses the existence of is the God that the Christians profess to believe in themselves, and the God that the Jews believe in. One God, the creator of the universe. The Muslims believe in the God that created the universe, and I think the Christians do, and the Jews do. Now, as long as all of them are talking about the creator, the Jews may call him Jehovah, and Christians may have another name for him. Those who are Arabic speaking refer to him as Allah. Well, we believe in the same God.
Now, as the Muslim religion advances in the United States, are you modernizing it or sticking with the old faiths? For example, the complete segregation of the sexes?
I think that everything today on this earth is being modernized. Religious principles and practices, as well as political and other things.
Now, you Mecca, this is a very sacred and forbidden. I tried to get to Mecca myself and certainly didn't make it, not being a Muslim. But how would they accept you as one? You're an American. There are few American Muslims.
This is true. And by being an American and not having not being able to speak the Arabic language, I did strike a snag, a very serious snag. But I was fortunate to have been pretty well known by the officials in Arabia, and they knew too that I had accepted Orthodox Islam. It had been highly publicized in the paper, and I became a guest of the state. I was a guest of Prince Faisal, the present King Faisal, and they made it possible for me to go before the committee, Hajj committee or Hajj court, who examines you and asks you questions about your belief, and if you pass it, then you are okay to go to Mecca. But it's
you would
true.
have to have a translator then.
I had one. Then realizing that our problem in America, that we are black Americans, and we have a problem that goes beyond religion, we formed a group known as the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And the objective of this organization is non-religious, number one. Any Negro can belong to it. And the objective of that organization is to bring about a condition that will guarantee respect and recognition of the 22 million black Americans as human beings. We feel that the problem, number one, of the black man in America is beyond America's ability to solve. It's a human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not a violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we're denied the right to be a human being.
Mr. X, may I thank you very much for coming on our program and perhaps clearing away some of the cobwebs of misconception that some of us might have had about your belief. And I think you're a very sincere man, and it takes a lot of courage to admit a former belief is wrong, and we congratulate you for that and the service you performed tonight in giving us your views. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. No matter what your point of view may be, there is significant in the growth in Chicago and across the United States, if not around the world, of a movement known as the Black Muslims, a movement which is popularly believed to preach a doctrine of hatred for the white race and the ultimate supremacy of the Negro race. The headquarters of the Muslim movement is here in Chicago in the 5300 block of South Greenwood, and its leader now is known as Elijah Muhammad. He's in residence here. The most active person in the spreading of the Black Muslim movement is Elijah Muhammad's second in command, who calls himself Malcolm X. And Malcolm X is our guest today on City Desk. Across the desk, our panelists this week are NBC newsmen Charles McCune, Floyd Calver, and Len O'Connor. And Mr. X, may I begin by asking you, if you will please, outline for us the platform policies of the organization.
Well, the platform that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our religious leader, stands on is the platform of complete freedom, justice, and equality for the 20 million black people, or so-called Negroes here in America. And he teaches us that because of the seriousness of the condition that our people now find themselves in, that it's absolutely impossible to solve our problems with means other than religion. And he teaches us that the religion of Islam is the only religion that will instill within our people the incentive to stand on our own feet. And instead of trying to force ourselves upon whites or force ourselves into the white society or blame the white man for our predicament and constantly beg him for what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and solve our problem ourselves.
And I referred to the popular belief that the Muslims preach a hatred for the white race. You do not subscribe to this, then?
No, I've never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach or preach hatred for anyone. He preaches hatred against evil, against drunkenness, against dope addiction, against poverty, and against having to beg for the things that a man is supposed to have. But I've never heard him teach us or any of his followers hatred toward any human being.
Do you think that some of his followers possibly then have misinterpreted the word that they've heard and follow a practice of hatred for the white race?
I don't think that any Muslim practices hatred toward anyone. We have businesses around the country that are patronized by whites, and we have many businesses here in Chicago, and our customers are white as well as our own kind. And a white person can go into any of these places of business, and he'll have to admit that he is treated with more respect, and he finds more dignity there than he will find among the so-called Negroes who profess.
What is that supposed to mean? FBA's up tethered wires. That don't make no sense. Salute, salute, salute. We need to decontaminate ourselves. I agree. You know what I'm saying? The bullshit has been gone on way too long, man. FBA is not a lineage. Why? Because you say so? That don't make no sense. 44 million people are not a lineage? You got a little crack to smoke. Well, let me leave you out with this last one.
Tonight,
Malcolm X was way ahead of his time when it came to this Black Power struggle, you know? Or where is it? So,
and during the few moments that we have left,
let's get back to this right here. So we got
during the few moments that we have left, we want to have just an off-the-cuff chat between you and me, us. We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, be you black, brown, red, or yellow, a so-called Negro, you represent a person who poses such a serious problem for America because you're not wanted. Once you face this as a fact, then you can start plotting a course that will make you appear intelligent instead of unintelligent. What you and I need to do is learn to forget our differences. When we come together, we don't come together as Baptists or Methodists. You don't catch hell because you're a Baptist, and you don't catch hell because you're a Methodist. You don't catch hell because you're a Methodist or a Baptist. You don't catch hell because you're a Democrat or a Republican. You don't catch hell because you're a Mason or an Elk. And you sure don't catch hell because you're an American, because if you was an American, you wouldn't catch no hell. You catch hell because you're a black man. You catch hell, all of us catch hell for the same reason. So we are all black people.
And that's not how you spell pseudo, by the way.
Second-class citizens, ex-slaves. You're nothing but an ex-slave. You don't like to be told that. But what else are you? You are ex-slave. You didn't come here on the Mayflower. You came here in a slave ship. in chains, like a horse or a cow or a chicken. And you were brought here by the people who came here on the Mayflower. You were brought here by the so-called pilgrims or founding fathers. They were the ones who brought you here. We have a common enemy. We have this in common. We have a common oppressor, a common exploiter, and a common discriminator. So once we all realize that we have this common enemy, then we unite on the basis of what we have in common. And what we have foremost in common is that enemy, the white man. He's an enemy to all of us. I know some of you all think that some of them aren't enemies. Time will tell. In Bandung, back in, I think, 1954, was the first unity meeting in centuries of black people. And once you study what happened at the Bandung Conference and the results of the Bandung Conference, it actually serves as a model for the same procedure you and I can use to get our problem solved. At Bandung, all the nations came together. They were dark nations from Africa and Asia. Some of them were Buddhists. Some of them were Muslim. Some of them were Christian. Some of them were Confucianists. Some were atheists. Despite their religious differences, they came together. Some were communists. Some were socialists. Some were capitalists. Despite their economic and political differences, they came together. All of them were black, brown, red, or yellow. The number one thing that was not allowed to attend the Bandung Conference was the white man. He couldn't come. Once they excluded the white man, they found that they could get together. Once they kept him out, everybody else fell right in and fell in line. This is the thing that you and I have to understand. And these people who came together didn't have nuclear weapons. They didn't have jet planes. They didn't have all of the heavy armaments that the white man has, but they had unity. They were able to submerge their little petty differences and agree on one thing, that though one African came from Kenya and was being colonized by the Englishmen, and another African came from the Congo and was being colonized by the Belgian, and another African came from Guinea and was being colonized by the French, and another came from Angola and was being colonized by the Portuguese. When they came to the Bandung Conference, they looked at the Portuguese and at the Frenchman and at the Englishman and at the other Dutchman and learn or realize that the one thing that all of them had in common, they were all from Europe. They were all Europeans, blonde, blue-eyed, and white skin. They began to recognize who their enemy was. The same man that was colonizing our people in Kenya was colonizing our people in the Congo. The same one in the Congo was colonizing our people in South Africa and in southern Rhodesia and in Burma and in India and in Afghanistan and in Pakistan. They realized all over the world where he was being oppressed, he was being oppressed by the white man. Where the dark man was being exploited, he was being exploited by the white man. So they got together under this basis that they had a common enemy. And when you and I here in Detroit and in Michigan and in America, who have been awakened today, look around us, we too realize here in America, we all have a common enemy. Whether he's in Georgia or Michigan, whether he's in California or New York, he's the same man. Blue eyes and blonde hair and pale skin. Same man. So what we have to do is what they did. They agreed to stop quarreling among themselves. Any little spat that they had, they'd settle it among themselves. Go into a huddle. Don't let the enemy know that you got a disagreement. Instead of us airing our differences in public, we have to realize we're all the same family. And when you have a family squabble, you don't get out on the sidewalk. If you do, everybody calls you uncouth, unrefined, uncivilized, savage. If you don't make it at home, you settle it at home. You get in the closet, argue it out behind closed doors. And then when you come out on the street, you pose a common front, a united front. And this is what we need to do in the community and in the city and in the state.
Time wasting.
We need to stop airing our differences. in front of the white man. Put the white man out of our meeting, number one, and then sit down and talk shop with each other. That's all you got to do. I would like to make a few comments concerning the difference between the Black Revolution and the Negro Revolution. There's a difference. Are they both the same? And if they're not, what is the difference? What is the difference between a Black Revolution and a Negro Revolution? First, what is a revolution? Sometimes I'm inclined to believe that many of our people are using this word revolution loosely, without taking careful consideration what this word actually means and what its historic characteristics are. When you study the historic nature of revolutions, the motive of a revolution, the objective of a revolution, and the result of a revolution, and the methods used in a revolution, you may change words. You may devise another program. You may change your goal and you may change your mind. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what? For land. How was it? Why did they want land? Independence. How was it carried out? Bloodshed. Right. Number one, it was based on land, the basis of independence. And the only way they could get it was bloodshed. The French Revolution, what was it based on? The landless against the landlord. What was it for? Land. How did they get it? Bloodshed. Was no love lost. Was no compromise. Was no negotiation. I'm telling you, you don't know what a revolution is. Because when you find out what it is, you'll get back in the alley. You'll get out of the way. Come on. The Russian Revolution. What was it based on? Land. The landless against the landlord. How did they bring it about? Bloodshed. You haven't got a revolution that doesn't involve bloodshed. And you're afraid to bleed. Listen. I said you're afraid to bleed. Long as the white man sent you to Korea, you bled. He sent you to Germany, you bled. He sent you to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, you bled. You bleed for white people. But when it comes time to seeing your own churches being bombed and little black girls murdered, you haven't got no blood. You bleed when the white man says bleed. You bite when the white man says bite. And you bark when the white man says bark. I hate to say this about us, but it's true. How you gonna be nonviolent in Mississippi as violent as you were in Korea? How can you justify being nonviolent in Mississippi and Alabama when your churches are being bombed and your little girls are being murdered, and at the same time you're gonna get violent with Hitler and Tojo and somebody else that you don't even know? If violence is wrong in America, violence is wrong abroad. If it's wrong to be violent, defending black women and black children and black babies and black men, then it's wrong for America to draft us and make us violent abroad in defense of her. The Chinese Revolution. They wanted land. They threw the British out, along with the Uncle Tom Chinese. Yeah, they did. They set a good example. When I was in prison, I read an article, and don't be shocked when I say I was in prison. You still in prison. That's what America means, prison. When I was in prison, I read an article in Life magazine showing a little Chinese girl, 9 years old. Her father was on his hands and knees, and she was pulling the trigger because he was an Uncle Tom Chinaman. When they had the revolution over there, they took a whole generation of Uncle Toms, just wiped them out. And within 10 years, that little girl became a full-grown woman. No more Toms in China. And today it's one of the toughest, roughest, most feared countries on this earth by the white man, because there are no Uncle Toms over there. Of all our studies, history is best qualified to reward all research. And when you see that you got problems, all you have to do is examine the historic method used all over the world by others who had problems similar to yours. And once you see how they got theirs straight, then you know how you can get yours straight. Please. There's been a revolution, a black revolution going on in Africa. In Kenya, the Mau Mau were revolutionaries. They were the ones who made the word uhuru. They were the ones who brought it to the fore. The Mau Mau, they were revolutionaries. They believed in scorched earth. They knocked everything aside that got in their path. And their revolution also was based on land, a desire for land. In Algeria, the northern part of Africa, a revolution took place. The Algerians were revolutionists. They wanted land. France offered to let them be integrated into France. They told France to hell with France. They wanted some land, not some France. And sisters, to show you, you don't have a peaceful revolution. You don't have a turn the other cheek revolution. There's no such thing as a nonviolent revolution. Only kind of revolution that's nonviolent is the Negro revolution. The only revolution based on loving your enemy is the Negro revolution.
That's it, Noki.
The only revolution in which the goal is a desegregated lunch counter, a desegregated theater, a desegregated park, and a desegregated public toilet. You can sit down next to white folks on the toilet. That's no revolution. Revolution is based on land. Land is the basis of all independence. Land is the basis of freedom, justice, and equality. The white man knows what a revolution is. He knows that the black revolution is worldwide, in scope and in nature. The black revolution is sweeping Asia, sweeping Africa. It's rearing its head in Latin America. The Cuban Revolution, that's a revolution. They overturned the system. Revolution is in Asia. Revolution is in Africa. And the white man is screaming because he sees revolution in Latin America. How do you think he'll react to you when you learn what a real revolution is? You don't know what a revolution is. If you did, you wouldn't use that word. A revolution is bloody. Revolution is hostile. Revolution knows no compromise. Revolution overturns and destroys everything that gets in its way. And you sitting around here like a knot on these folks, no matter how much they hate me. No, you need a revolution. Who ever heard of a revolution where they lock arms, as Reverend Cleage was pointing out beautifully, singing, "We shall overcome." Just tell me you don't do that in a revolution.
Sure do look like
You don't do any singing, you're too busy swinging.
Look at the ancient Hebrew text. By all means, do your thing, man. We use logic on that. Comes with the universe.
It's based on land. A revolutionary wants land so he can set up his own nation, an independent nation. These Negroes aren't asking for no nation. They're trying to crawl back on the plantation. When you want a nation, that's called nationalism. When the white man became involved in a revolution in this country against England, what was it for? He wanted this land so he could set up another white nation. That's white nationalism. The American Revolution was white nationalism. The French Revolution was white nationalism. The Russian Revolution too, yes, it was white nationalism. You don't think so? Why you think Khrushchev and Mao can't get their heads together? White nationalism. All the revolutions that's going on in Asia, in Africa today are based on what? Black nationalism. A revolutionary is a black nationalist. He wants a nation. I was reading some beautiful words by Reverend Cleage pointing out why he couldn't get together with someone else here in the city.
Right, no,
because all of them were afraid
of
being identified with black nationalism. If you're afraid of black nationalism, you're afraid of revolution. And if you love revolution, you love black nationalism. To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, "We got a good house here," the house Negro said, "Yeah, we got a good house here." Whenever the master said "we," he said "we." That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, "What's the matter, boss?" "We sick. We sick." He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, "Let's run away, let's escape, let's separate," that house Negro would look at you and say, "Man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this?" That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, "I'm the only Negro out here." "I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You're nothing but a house Negro." And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say, while you left your mind in Africa. On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hog. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hog. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you all still gut eaters.
No, you're not dumb. It's just your response. You clearly came here to waste time.
From morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes.
We see it for what it is.
And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind. For a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near a plant. And our astronauts, our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening. Because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man do the same thing to you in the street. When he want to put knots on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of you fighting back, to keep you from fighting back, he get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me. They're just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Cleave pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. And you know he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. Because nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. That's a good religion. In fact, that's that all-time religion. That's the one that Ma and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resents that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you're a sheep. Anytime a shepherd, a pastor, teach you and me not to run from the white man, and at the same time teachers don't fight the white man, he's a traitor to you and me. Don't lay down our life all by itself. No. Preserve your life. It's the best thing you got. And if you got to give it up, let it be even Stephen. The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. Yeah. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man.
Don't try to
he take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent. Build him up. Publicize him. Make him a celebrity. And then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader.
A little bit more logical stuff, man.
I would like to just mention one thing else quickly, and that is
that's
the method that the white man uses, how the white man uses these big guns or Negro leaders against the Black Revolution. They're not a part of the Black Revolution. They're used against the Black Revolution. When Martin Luther King failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia, the civil rights struggle in America reached its low point. King became bankrupt almost as a leader, plus even financially. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference was in financial trouble, plus it was in trouble, period, with the people when they failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia. Other Negro civil rights leaders of so-called national stature became fallen idols. As they became fallen idols, began to lose their prestige and influence, local Negro leaders began to stir up. In Cambridge, Maryland, Gloria Richardson. In Danville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, local leaders began to stir up our people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you. They controlled you, they contained you. They kept you on the plantation. As soon as King failed in Birmingham, Negroes took to the streets. King got out and went out to California to a big rally and raised about, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Come to Detroit and had a march and raised some more thousands of dollars. And recall, right after that, Wilkins attacked King, accused King and the Corps of starting trouble everywhere and then making the NAACP get him out of jail and spend a lot of money. And then he accused King and Corps of raising all the money and not paying it back. This happened. I got it in documented evidence in the newspaper. Roy started attacking King, and King started attacking Roy, and farmers started attacking both of them. And as these Negroes of national stature begin to attack each other, they begin to lose their control of the Negro masses. And Negroes was out there in the streets. They was talking about, we're going to march on Washington. By the way, and right at that time, Birmingham had exploded, and the Negroes in Birmingham, remember, they also exploded. Hackers in the back and bust them upside the head. Yes, they did. That's when Kennedy sent in the troops down in Birmingham. So, and right after that, Kennedy got on the television and said, this is a moral issue. That's when he said he's going to put out a civil rights bill. And when he mentioned civil rights bill and the Southern crackers started talking about they were going to boycott it or filibuster it, then the Negroes started talking about what? We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they was going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land. I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the black revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect and told them, call it off. Kennedy said, look, y'all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start it. I'm telling you what they said. They said, I'm not even in it, much less at the head of it. They said, these Negroes are doing things on their own. They're running ahead of us. And that old shrewd fox, he said, well, if you all aren't in it, I'll put you in it. I'll put you at the head of it. I'll endorse it. I'll welcome it. I'll help it. I'll join it. A matter of hours went by. They had a meeting at the Carlisle Hotel in New York City. The Carlisle Hotel is owned by the Kennedy family. That's the hotel Kennedy spent the night at 2 nights ago. Belongs to his family. A philanthropic society headed by a white man named Stephen Currier called all the top civil rights leaders together at the Carlisle Hotel and told them that by you all fighting each other, you're destroying the civil rights movement. And since you're fighting over money from white liberals, let us set up what's known as the Council for United Civil Rights Leadership. Let's form this council, and all the civil rights organizations will belong to it. And we'll use it for fundraising purposes. Let me show you how tricky the white man is. And as soon as they got it formed, they elected Whitney Young as the chairman. And who you think became the co-chairman? Stephen Currier, the white man. A millionaire. Powell was talking about it down at the Cobo today. This is what he was talking about. Powell knows it happened. Randolph knows it happened. Wilkins knows it happened. King knows it happened. Every one of that so-called Big Six. They know what happened. Once they formed it, with the white man over it, he promised them and gave them $800,000 to split up between the Big Six, and told them that after the march was over, they'd give them $700,000 more. $1.5 million split up between leaders that you've been following, crying crocodile tears for. And they've nothing but Frank James and Jesse James and brothers. Soon as they got the setup organized, the white men made available to them top public relations experts. Opened the news media across the country at their disposal. And then they began to project these Big Six as the leaders of the march. Originally, they weren't even in the march. You was talking this march talk on Hastings Street. Is Hastings Street still here? On Hastings Street. You was talking the march talk on Lenox Avenue. And down on, Fillmore Street. And Central Avenue. And 42nd Street and 63rd Street. That's where the march talk was being talked. But the white man put the Big Six ahead of it. Made them the march. They became the march. They took it over. And the first move they made after they took it over, they invited Walter Reuther, a white man. They invited a priest, a rabbi, and an old white preacher. Yes, an old white preacher. The same white element that put Kennedy in power labor, the Catholics, the Jews, and liberal Protestants. Same clique that put Kennedy in, just like when you got some coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong. What you do? You integrate it with cream. You make it weak. If you pour too much cream in, you won't even know you ever had coffee. It used to be hot, it becomes cool. It used to be strong, it becomes weak. It used to wake you up, now it'll put you to sleep. This is what they did with the March on Washington. They joined it. They didn't integrate it, they infiltrated it. They joined it, became a part of it, took it over. And as they took it over, it lost its militancy. They ceased to be angry. They ceased to be hot. They ceased to be uncompromising. Why, it even ceased to be a march. It became a picnic, a circus. Nothing but a circus with clowns and all. You had one right here in Detroit. I saw it on television with clowns leading it, white clowns and black clowns. I know you don't like what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I can prove what I'm saying. If you think I'm telling you wrong, you bring me Martin Luther King and A. Philip Randolph and James Farmer and those other three and see if they'll deny it over the microphone. No, it was a sellout. It was a takeover. When James Baldwin came in from Paris, they wouldn't let him talk because they couldn't make him go by the script. Burt Lancaster read the speech that Baldwin was supposed to make. They wouldn't let Baldwin get up there because they know Baldwin liable to say anything. They controlled it so tight, they told those Negroes what time to hit town, how to come, where to stop, what sign to carry, what song to sing, what speech they could make and what speech they couldn't make, and then told them to get out of town by sundown. And every one of those Toms were out of town by sundown. Now, I know you don't like my saying this, but I can back it up. It was a circus, a performance. It beat anything Hollywood could ever do. The performance of the year. Luther and those other three devils should get a Academy Award for the best actors because they acted like they really loved Negroes and fooled a whole lot of Negroes. And the 6 Negro leaders should get an award, too, for the best supporting cast.
See, Malcolm didn't come here to play with you, man. Malcolm kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my FBA fam, my extended family around the world that's not Tevis, and they see the bigger picture and the game for what it is. Yo, man, we gonna draw a line in the sand, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Thank you for playing this. RP Malik El Shabazz. Big time, you know what I'm saying? Salute to you, Timmy and Dominican. Yeah, man, ain't no goofy talks, bro. You coming with the real, you know? Separating the lie from the jive. So, at the end of the day, like I told you, the day got to end. It's your boy Mac Mizzle. You know my slogan: keep it real in the field. Forget how to feel.